Have you ever stared blankly at a page, feeling like your thoughts are just this chaotic jumble of ingredients scattered all over a kitchen counter? You know exactly what you want to say, but figuring out how to organize it all, it just feels completely overwhelming. Well, welcome to today's Explainer. We are going to take that disorganized chaos and totally transform it into an easy-to-follow, highly logical recipe for clear communication. So think of this not just as a writing lesson, but as mastering the culinary arts of the written word. We're going to craft the absolute perfect paragraph. Okay, let's dive right in. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We are going to cover the power of a paragraph, its anatomy, the topic sentence, supporting your ideas, unity, coherence and cohesion, and finally, the perfect conclusion. And hey, quick pro tip for you, an agenda like this is essentially our presentation's very own topic sentence. The power of a paragraph, and what exactly it is. Our source material defines a paragraph as an organized and coherent group of sentences about a topic or a single idea. I want you to mentally highlight that phrase right now, single idea. Honestly, this is your guiding star for any good piece of writing. The entire purpose of a paragraph is to organize your sentences into one unified block to support that one specific idea. Now, the length can obviously vary wildly depending on how complex the topic is, but your commitment to that single idea, that never ever changes. Moving on to Section 2, the anatomy of a paragraph, or as I like to call it, the ingredients. So here are the three fundamental steps of our core formula. First up, the topic sentence. Second, the supporting sentences. And third, the concluding sentence. It looks pretty simple, right? But mastering this three-part structure is incredibly powerful. As our source material points out, whether you're writing a dense academic essay about the rules of acting, or you're just writing a quick guide on how to roast a chicken, this exact same formula is the engine that drives your communication forward.
Section 3. The topic sentence. Your blueprint.
The absolutely crucial thing to remember here is that a topic sentence doesn't just announce what you're talking about. It dictates the entire direction of the paragraph. It introduces the topic, usually jumping in right away as your first or second sentence. But the most vital part of this is that it must contain an idea or an opinion, which we call the controlling idea. It needs to answer why or how. For example, answering why autumn is the best season, or how playing football offers numerous benefits. The controlling idea is basically the boss. It tells the rest of your sentences exactly what they need to prove.
Let's compare two statements to really trigger that aha moment. Take a statement like, the sun rises in the east. Well, that's a simple fact. You really can't write a good paragraph about this because there's nothing left to explain, prove, or develop. It's a dead end. But think about this statement instead. A bee can be beneficial for humans. See the difference? This contains an opinion, a controlling idea. It instantly makes the reader ask, wait, how or why? And answering that specific question is exactly what the rest of your paragraph is going to do.
Here is another fantastic contrast straight from the text. Think about the phrase, drinking alcohol is bad. I mean, it's an opinion, sure, but it is way too general. Bad for what? Your health? Your wallet? Your sleep schedule? The reader has absolutely no idea where you're going with this. But if we refined it down to drinking alcohol can be harmful for personal relationships, boom, instantly, the focus sharpens. You know exactly what the following sentences need to demonstrate. Having a highly specific controlling idea sets you up for absolute success.
Section 4. Supporting your ideas, which is essentially building the walls of your paragraph.
Your supporting sentences are the meat of the dish. Their entire job is to demonstrate or prove that controlling idea we just talked about, and they do this using explanations, reasons, facts, statistics, or data. Notice the hierarchy we have here. We've got major sentences and minor sentences. Major sentences directly explain the main idea. Minor sentences, on the other hand, dig even deeper to help develop those major ones. And listen, here is the absolute golden rule from our source material. No sentences showing new ideas should ever be included here. Seriously, if it doesn't actively support the topic sentence, throw it out.
Let's actually see this hierarchy in action using an acting on stage example from the text. The sentence, one rule is to make sure you face your audience, is a major supporting sentence. It directly supports the overall topic of important rules for acting. But the very next sentence, expanding on what happens if you turn away from the audience, is a minor supporting sentence. It doesn't introduce a random new rule. Instead, it expands directly on the major sentence by explaining the why behind it. It is perfectly structured.
And you know, this works just as beautifully outside of academia. Take a look at this fun excerpt from a roasting chicken paragraph. Rub salt on the outside of the chicken. After the chicken has been salted for 1 hour, stuff it. These step-by-step facts are acting as the perfect supporting evidence for a how-to paragraph. Each sentence sequentially proves the initial topic sentence, which stated that roasting a chicken is a simple process.
Section 5. Unity, coherence, and cohesion. This is the secret sauce.
The very first ingredient in our secret sauce is unity. Basically, all your sentences should support one single idea. This requires some ruthless focus on your part. If you're writing a paragraph about the amazing health benefits of apples, and you suddenly toss in a sentence about how expensive oranges are at the local supermarket, you've completely lost your unity. Every single sentence has to earn its keep by proving the controlling idea.
Next up, we have coherence. This just means your ideas must have a logical flow and really clear relationships. You can arrange your sentences following a time order, which is obviously perfect for that chicken roasting recipe, spatial order, which works wonders for descriptions, or the order of importance. Going back to our theater example, that paragraph smoothly used the order of importance, guiding the reader from a basic rule all the way up to the most important rule of all.
Finally, we've got cohesion. So if unity is your focus and coherence is your logical order, cohesion is the actual glue that binds your sentences together on the page. It's all about using vocabulary, grammatical structures, and specifically, transition words to make the reading experience absolutely effortless. When a paragraph has great cohesion, the reader just glides from one sentence to the next without ever getting lost.
And to help you out with that glue, I highly recommend making a mental note of this toolkit of transition words derived straight from our source material. Just look at how they're categorized. Need to show a contrast? Throw in a conversely or whereas. Explaining a result? Consequently or thus are going to be your best friends. Showing a sequence of steps? Use meanwhile or after. Keeping a good variety of these transition words in your back pocket will literally instantly elevate your writing from feeling choppy to sounding incredibly professional.
Section 6. The perfect conclusion. Serving the dish. The concluding sentence is essentially the nice, neat bow on top of your paragraph. Its whole job is to cleanly wrap up the logic. It restates the idea you established in the topic sentence, reinforces the main idea, and summarizes the overall point. And just like we mentioned with supporting sentences, a conclusion is never the place to introduce some wild new idea. Actually, scratch that, it's not the place to introduce any new idea. It is purely there to remind the reader of the controlling idea you just spent the entire paragraph proving to them.
Let's see how that acting on stage paragraph totally nailed this. The final sentence reads, "In conclusion, following these rules will help ensure a successful stage performance." It brilliantly uses a transition phrase, "in conclusion," and perfectly summarizes the entire paragraph. It echoes that original topic sentence without just lazily copying it word for word.
Here's one more really strong example from this source text about Canada being a great place to live. After listing out all these supporting facts about the healthcare, the education, and the clean cities, it wraps up with, "As a result, Canada is a desirable place to live." That transition phrase, "as a result," neatly ties off all those previous supporting arguments, serving the reader a complete, logically sound, and perfectly structured thought.
Well, we've deconstructed the chaos and we've revealed the recipe. You now know that a truly powerful paragraph is built on a specific controlling idea, reinforced by focused supporting sentences, bound together by cohesive transitions, and served up with a summarizing conclusion. You've got all the ingredients. So armed with this blueprint, how are you going to structure your next big idea? Thanks for joining me on this explainer and happy writing.